For more than a decade, Dennis Franz was one of the most recognizable faces on television thanks to his role as Andy Sipowicz on NYPD Blue. But since the series wrapped in 2005, he hasn't appeared in a single movie or TV show. Why? Here's the real reason you don't hear from Dennis Franz anymore. From 1993 to 2005, Dennis Franz anchored NYPD Blue, portraying Andy Sipowicz for a good chunk of the character's life as well as his own. 12 years is a long time to hold a job, and by the end of it, Franz had had enough. Instead of moving on to another project, he decided to just retire. He told the New York Post, "I was just tired. It was becoming a job. As much as I loved the work and the challenges and the creative process, I just wanted to live an enjoyable, irresponsible, spend time with my family kind of life. I haven't regretted 1 minute of it. I'm pretty good at doing nothing." Franz and his wife now spend a lot of time at their lake house in northern Idaho when they aren't traveling around the world. Sounds a lot better than tracking down killers every week. Andy Sipowicz might be one of the most famous TV cops of all time, but the character was far from the first law enforcement officer Franz had played in his long career. In fact, Franz told the Los Angeles Times that by his own count, Sipowicz was the 28th police officer he had portrayed across television, movies, and theater. He was so typecast that he almost didn't take the NYPD Blue gig at all. "I told myself I was going to try to find another vehicle. It was time not to play any more cop roles." It's no wonder he decided to retire.
How's it feel? Think some good news, though.
Before teaming up with legendary TV producer Steven Bochco on Hill Street Blues and NYPD Blue, among others, Franz made his name in film as a regular for two of the most important and singular directors of the 1970s and 1980s, Brian De Palma and Robert Altman. Franz appeared in 5 De Palma movies during the director's peak: The Fury, Dressed to Kill, Blowout, Scarface, and Body Double. He also joined Altman's ensemble films A Wedding, Popeye, and The Player. Sadly, though, Altman passed away in 2006, while Bochco passed in 2018. And while De Palma is still active, his output has slowed dramatically. It's understandable if Franz would rather stay retired rather than go it alone without any of his biggest creative partners. Though he hasn't appeared on screen in years, Franz has had his fair share of real-life drama. For instance, in 2007, a huge chandelier fell from the ceiling in Franz's house in Idaho, injuring his sister Marlene. The two sued for negligence, with Franz revealing that as a result of the accident, he was forced to forego a $16 million personal services contract, which suggests fans might have missed out on a possible comeback project thanks to the faulty chandelier. And in 2010, Franz was involved in another lawsuit, claiming he was owed nearly $70,000 by a charter jet company for services he paid for but never received. Luckily, they were able to come to an agreement before the matter went to trial. Dennis Franz hasn't acted on screen since 2005, so fans were pleasantly surprised when he made an unexpected appearance at the 2016 Emmys. It sparked rumors of a possible comeback, something that Franz told the New York Post is still a possibility. "My agents have an understanding. They're still going to knock on my door periodically to see if there are any home runs to get me off my butt. But so far that hasn't presented itself. Though I left my options open and didn't say I was for sure closing the door and not leaving it open a crack. Here's hoping someone offers him a juicy role sometime soon. Just no more cops, okay?"